Hi, this is Josh with Resort TV 1, and today I'm going to explain how the new Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass options work on the My Disney Experience app. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to find out more about planning your trip to Walt Disney World. So, let's get started. First of all, you're going to start on your app home screen and you're going to see right here in the middle where it says Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass, and there's a button for purchase. Of course, you're going to click the purchase button, but before you do that, you need to make a theme park reservation. Now, if you have a date-based ticket, you don't need to do this because your reservation is already confirmed based on the ticket that you already purchased. But if you have an annual pass like I do, you have to make a reservation, except for if it's a good-to-go day. And as you can see on my calendar here for July, there are several good-to-go days that are circled in green. However, if we move over to August, you can see there are a lot of days that are not good-to-go days, so you would have to have a park reservation for those days before purchasing the new Lightning Lane Multipass or Single Pass service. And back in the My Disney Experience app, let's go ahead and hit purchase. And now we'll get a calendar of available dates. Now keep in mind there are some eligibility requirements for when you can purchase, and here's a little learn when you can purchase passes, so you can see when to purchase. So if you have valid theme park admission, you can purchase starting at 7 a.m. on their first day of eligibility, defined as follows. If you're a guest of a Disney Resort hotel or other select hotels, you can start purchasing 7 days before the first day of your resort stay for the length of your stay, up to 14 days. So if you're staying longer than 14 days, you'll have to book 2 separate times. Most people don't. So 7 days ahead of time if you are a resort guest, and that's 7 a.m. 7 days before. If you have a date-based ticket or other ticket type or annual pass holder, you have it 3 days before, so you can do 7 a.m. 3 days before. And you can see there, it says, like I just said at the bottom, 14 days of Lightning Lanes for resort guests. So I'm going to go ahead and select July 30th. That's Tuesday. And now you can see I've got all 4 parks as an option. I'm going to go ahead and hit Magic Kingdom. And you can see that Magic Kingdom is the most expensive, just like it was on Genie Plus, $27 per guest for the Lightning Lane Multipass. Single Pass for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, $11, and Single Pass for Tron Light Cycle Run, $20. Now you might be wondering, what is all this and how does it relate to Genie Plus? Well, first of all, Lightning Lane Multipass basically takes the place of the old Genie Plus system where you would get multiple rides per day. So just to clear that up, they are different, but this Lightning Lane Multipass is the replacement for the Genie Plus. We're never going to use the words Genie Plus anymore, which I guess is nice. Everything's a Lightning Lane, so that makes it a little bit easier to understand. Now, the individual Lightning Lane is being replaced by this Lightning Lane Single Pass. So before you could get an individual Lightning Lane for Mine Train or Tron Light Cycle Run, now you can get Single Pass for those. And of course, each park has their own Lightning Lane Single Pass attractions. Now you can hit this little button here and view eligible experiences for the multipass, and you can see those, and we'll take a little closer look at those later, but that's basically what's included. You might be surprised to see that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is actually included as part of the multipass. So you can get a virtual queue for that, or you can get a multipass, but it's actually not an individual or a single Lightning Lane experience. Let's look at the other parks though really quick and see what the pricing is for those. So for Epcot, you've got $19 Lightning Lane Multipass, and then you've got a $15 Lightning Lane Single Pass for Guardians of the Galaxy. And you can see, even just 3 days out, they're still available, so that's really, really nice. And if we click on Hollywood Studios, you'll see $24. It's a little more popular park. And you can see that's $24 for the multipass, and then $22 for the Single Pass Rise of the Resistance. And as of today, that's the most expensive Single Pass available in any of the parks, Rise of the Resistance at $22. And then finally at Animal Kingdom, $17. And then $14 for Flight of Passage. So $17 multipass, $14 single pass. So that's kind of the options as of today. Of course, those will change based on demand and crowd levels, and I would imagine around the holidays, all of that will go up and be more expensive per guest. So just be aware that it's a little bit less crowded now because Halloween parties haven't started yet. It's the end of July, and this summer has been a little bit less crowded. So just keep all of that in mind when you're booking things. If you come down at a different time, it might be more expensive. But having said all of that, I'm going to go ahead and tap on the multipass option for Magic Kingdom and scroll down, hit continue, and it's going to show me who's in my party. Now, I'm not going to scroll down and show everybody this in my planning party. I know I'm the only one selected right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit continue. It is $27. It shows that again. So now here's where you see big differences from the Genie Plus service. There's no times or anything like that right now. It's just selecting attractions. So it's very similar to the old FastPass system in that you would have to select one from a premium tier or a higher tier of rides first, and then go down to the lower level and select more of a standard tier of rides down here. You can select 3 total, so you can either select 1 from the top and 2 from the bottom, or you can actually select all 3 from the bottom. So for the purposes of this video, we'll go ahead and do what I did for later this afternoon, and that is Big Thunder Mountain. And you can see when I do that, everything else grays out. Now if I uncheck that, I can select something else. Also, I want to point out Peter Pan's flight actually isn't sold out right now. It's actually under refurbishment, so that's something just to keep in mind, is that rides that are under refurbishment will show just like Peter Pan does right now. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure, being really popular, is already sold out for that date, so probably resort guests filling that up. So that is one disadvantage. If you are an annual pass holder or staying off-site, you'll probably have to do the virtual queue for Tiana. Just keep that in mind. But I'm going to go ahead and retap Big Thunder Mountain, and then I'm going to select 2 more from this standard group. So Haunted Mansion, and then I'll go ahead and select Winnie the Pooh, because sometimes Winnie the Pooh actually is more popular than some of the other attractions. Pirates actually usually eases up throughout the day, so that's why I didn't select that one. Now you can see that everything else is grayed out, so I can't make any additional selections. If I change my mind, I just need to uncheck one and then check my new selection. So it's pretty easy to switch. So then you scroll down, just make sure everything looks good, and hit continue. Now you see that selections are saved for 5 minutes. That's really nice. You actually have 5 whole minutes to do this. There's no stress. If you remember on the Genie Plus system, a lot of times you would tap on a ride time and think you're going to get a certain time, and then by the time you got through all the different menus, it was like 2 hours later or even not available at all. So this is a really, really nice addition to the system, and thank you so much, Disney, for listening to everybody with this, is that they do save your selections for 5 minutes, so you don't have to worry about clicking through this as fast as possible. You can take your time and get it right based on what you want. So now we're going to use this screen to go ahead and modify times if we want to, or accept the times that they've given us. Keep in mind that you have to use your first Lightning Lane in order to book anything outside of the original 3. And of course, you're not guaranteed anything past 3, but you should be able to get at least a couple more. In fact, a little addition as I'm editing this video, on my live stream yesterday, I was actually able to get 10 Lightning Lane Multipass reservations just by continuing to add a new one after I used one. So you can continue to hold 3, use one, make one, use one, make one. I was even able to get a Tiana's Bayou Adventure reservation, which was absolutely amazing. So I can modify time here for Big Thunder, and I can choose any other time. So if I hit 7 o'clock, you can see 7:10, 7:20, 7:40. If I tap on one of those, I can save the new time. But if I'm happy with my 2 o'clock time, I'm just going to go ahead and hit close. So it might be advantageous to pick an earlier time for your first Lightning Lane, so that if you're going to be at the park all day, pick something close to 9 o'clock. You can see there at the top it says 9 o'clock Magic Kingdom opens. And so pick something close to that 9 o'clock. You can use that first one quickly, and then you can go ahead and start booking for the rest of the day. So theoretically, you could get several Lightning Lanes completed throughout the day if you go ahead and book earlier times. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the times that I've got. One other thing I want to show is that if you hit the X, you actually can remove one of these attractions from the multi-pass. Now then you'd only get 2, so I really wouldn't recommend that, so I'm going to hit no keep it. You could add another one later, but again, that makes it very convoluted. So just so you know what that X does, I wouldn't recommend using that. And then it also shows that Magic Kingdom closes at 10 p.m. So if you're happy with all those things, go ahead and scroll down, tap on your party. You're going to see me there with my nice little Mickey avatar. You can again see that it's $27 per guest. You're going to go ahead and hit continue. Now tax will be calculated at checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue, and it's going to load my payment information. And there you can see that it's $28.76, so there is $1.76 of tax. Then you would hit checkout, and you would be complete with your purchase. And once you complete the purchase, you'll go back to the home screen here. Now you might notice my times are a little bit different. These are actually ones that I booked for today, so that's why I wanted to show all this today. But I'm just showing you the booking process since I did that part off camera here. But anyway, you can see here, I've got Big Thunder Mountain 5:25 to 6:25, Haunted Mansion 6:10 to 7:10, and Winnie the Pooh from 7 to 8. So after I use Big Thunder, I'll be able to book another Lightning Lane Multipass. Now if I tap on one of these, I can also modify. And so I can cancel, which I'm obviously not going to do. I don't want to do that. It also shows me Big Thunder's only 25-minute wait now, which is not bad at all. But I can go ahead and hit modify, and it'll show me what else is available. Now, of course, I'm not going to confirm this, so I'm not actually going to change anything. But you can see that it shows that I've got a 9:10 time available if I really want to do that, but of course I don't. Or I can pick a new experience where I can pick Buzz Lightyear at 6:35. Or if I want to go earlier, I can pick a less popular attraction like Mad Tea Party at 3. And you know, that might actually be an okay idea if you're trying to get to the park early and you just want to use that first Lightning Lane so you can book something else, maybe book something less popular, and then you can use it earlier so that you can go ahead and book something else later. So you can just kind of see what's available. The good news is most everything is available besides Tiana there. And that, by the way, Tiana, it's a little surprising. Tiana is actually a multi-pass and not a single pass experience. So the single pass experiences at Magic Kingdom are still Tron and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which again, remember that was the former individual Lightning Lane. So you got Little Mermaid, Tomorrowland Speedway, Small World, Magic Carpet. Jungle Cruise is also sold out, which is not surprising. That's usually one of the more popular attractions on Genie Plus as well. And then the least popular there, or the easiest to get, would be Dumbo. I don't want to say Dumbo's least popular. It's usually pretty popular, but today's a pretty light day. As I showed earlier, it's a good to go day at the Magic Kingdom, but you can see a 2:55 time available. And as you can see on my clock here, it's actually 2:54. So I could get one literally like right now. So that's pretty nice if I wanted to do that. And of course, Peter Pan is actually not sold out, but it's currently down at the moment. So that's how I would modify it. I would just tap on that and I would change to the time and then I would hit confirm. So before you use your first Lightning Lane on your park day, you'll see a message similar to this one that says you can book another Lightning Lane after you've used your first one. Once you've used your first Lightning Lane, you'll see a message like this that says you can now check for available experiences. So when you click on that, it'll populate the tip board, and you can start scrolling through your available options and choose your favorite ride. Once you choose your favorite ride, it will show you some available times, and you can actually tap Modify Time down below if you're not happy with the time that it has given you. Once you tap Continue at the bottom, it will show you a confirmation of your new Lightning Lane selection, and you're all set. Now you may be wondering what happens if a ride breaks down during your Lightning Lane window. Well, this works just exactly the same as it did with Disney Genie Plus, in that you get a multi-experience pass based on the tier of the attraction that went down. So if you tap on the multi-experience pass, it will show you a list of where you can go based on the tier of the attraction that you had previously reserved that went down. So you can scroll through the list and choose the ride you'd like to experience, or wait for your original ride to come back up if it does later in the day. Another nice feature of this new system is that just like Genie Plus, you can stack multiple experiences in the same time windows, unlike the original FastPass Plus system, which would not allow that. Another important thing to remember is that just like the Disney Genie Plus system and the FastPass system before it, you can't reserve a ride more than once per day. So if you'd like to experience a ride again, you'll just have to wait in the standby line for that attraction on the second time and any subsequent times. The only exception to this is if you get a multi-experience pass when a ride breaks down, and that pass actually will allow you to experience an attraction a second time. But those are pretty rare, and it only happens if an attraction breaks down during your Lightning Lane reservation window. And another thing I didn't mention is park hopping. Park hopping is actually possible on the new Lightning Lane system, but the catch is you do actually have to use your first Lightning Lane multi-pass before you're able to book at a different park. Because of course otherwise you could just do the Animal Kingdom cheapest option and then modify everything to Magic Kingdom later. So you can't actually do that. You have to purchase the park where you want to use your first multi-pass experiences. And then once you've used at least one, you can start booking for other parks later in the day. So say you'd like to start your day at Magic Kingdom, you can actually go ahead and book all of your Magic Kingdom passes like I've done. Of course, I booked mine for later in the afternoon, but if I had booked them earlier in the day, what you can go ahead and do is once you've used your first pass, say I had Big Thunder Mountain at 9 a.m., once I use that, I could start booking Lightning Lane multi-passes for Epcot later in the afternoon. So just keep that in mind. Park hopping is available, and there are a lot of attractions that do still have availability later in the day. Now you can also go ahead and modify these. I already showed that earlier, but the park hopping is really kind of a nice option there. As long as you have a park hopper ticket or an annual pass or something that allows park hopping, you can book passes for other parks as long as you've used the first one at the first park. So it's a little confusing, but really the biggest thing to remember is use one at your original park, and then you can book anywhere else that you'd like. Now keep in mind there are some additional rules, policies, and procedures to be aware of when you're using the system. And if you'd like to learn more about it, you just click Learn More on the little Lightning Lane Multipass Single Pass box here. And let's just go over some of these things so that you can be aware of all of the new policies and procedures. So it tells you about selecting 3 experiences and all the things we've already discussed. One thing I didn't mention already is that you get attraction photo downloads and Disney PhotoPass lenses. So that's one thing that maybe not a lot of people use, but it is an additional benefit if you'd like to use those. So just be aware of that. And maybe people don't use it as much because they're not aware, so it's really a nice little extra perk that you get. And then it talks about selecting an arrival time for a top attraction and for the standard attractions and all of that. And then again, it talks about when you can purchase, select a date, select the multi-pass or a single pass. One of the things we didn't touch on earlier was that you can select up to 2 single passes per day subject to availability. So it's just like the old individual Lightning Lane system where you could select up to 2 individual Lightning Lanes per day. You can also select up to 2 single pass Lightning Lanes per day as well. So that hasn't changed at all. And you can book those in the same park or different parks. And then again, it goes over when you can start purchasing. Again, hotel guests 7 days before for up to 14 days. Anybody else that's not at a resort hotel or other select hotels, and some of the Good Neighbor hotels like Swan and Dolphin, they're included as well. You can check all that on the Disney website if you're not sure. But everybody else besides those people, including annual pass holders or date-based tickets, off-site resort guests, would have to adhere to the 3 days before option. So 7 a.m. 3 days before to book everything. That includes booking multi-pass and single pass all at the same time. You can book at different times if you want, as long as they're available. But of course, if you're doing a 3-day option, you definitely want to be ready for that 7 a.m. window 3 days before so that you have as many options as possible. And there at the bottom, it says other select hotels include the Swan Reserve, the Dolphin, and Shades of Green. So just so you're aware of what is included there. And one more thing before we wrap up this video. There's a lot of things that I definitely didn't cover in this video, some advanced strategies and things like that. I talked about a few of the strategies that you might want to be aware of, but I didn't want to get too in-depth on this since this is just an explanatory video of how to use it and just some of the basics of using the system. Of course, you may learn your own tips and tricks along the way as you use the system more and more, but we'll make another more in-depth video showing some of the power user options and things like that that you can do to make the most of your Disney visit using Disney Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass. Definitely leave your questions in the comments down below, anything I forgot, anything that you're just still not sure about, and I'll do my best to answer those questions as we go along. But thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know what you think of the new system too. Do you like this more than the Genie Plus system? Do you like it more than FastPass Plus? Probably people would say no because FastPass Plus was free. But do you like this more than Genie Plus? They're both priced about the same, so the pricing is not really the issue here on Lightning Lane versus Genie, but do you like this system and this way of reserving things a little bit ahead of time, as opposed to Genie Plus where you had to reserve everything on the day of? I think one really nice thing about it, and probably some people will comment on this, is that you don't have to get up at 7 a.m. on every single day unless you're doing like virtual queues and things like that. But you wouldn't have to book any Lightning Lanes or Genie Pluses or anything like that at 7 a.m. on the day of your park day. So that makes it nice. There may be some days where you can actually sleep in a little bit. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. So for now, have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.